Okay. Well, I've tried 2 or 3 times now to make a update video for myself. Where to begin? Things have happened even since the last time I attempted to make a video. But, let's start with, I signed up for online therapy through BetterHelp, and I'm happy with it so far. I'm challenged. I'm thinking about things, verbalizing, better organizing my thoughts by externalizing them, again verbally, and it's going good. In a perfect world, I'd be back with my original therapist, but I still don't have insurance, so the therapy I'm getting, I'm paying out of pocket. It's a much better use for my disability than sitting around online shopping, feeding into bad habits and such. Anyway, so and I don't want to get too into it, but what kicked off the my desire to pursue therapy again was, interestingly enough, it was the online shopping thing. Not that I was overdoing it, which I was, but it was because I was sitting around and I was thinking about how miserable I was feeling, just in general. And I thought, okay, your imagination runs wild with the world you can create around yourself, in spite of all the limitations. And in my mind and on my Pinterest, I've done this stuff where I plan things, specifically the bathroom and the shower, because that's the biggest area of it requires the most attention because there's a lot of dangers in there, and if you make the place safe for you with a disability, then you make it look a certain way. And I was trying to take a disabled bathroom and make it look so fashionable. It doesn't matter if you're disabled, it's fucking gorgeous, truth be told. And I'm doing a good job as far as planning goes. Like, I'm not spending any money on it, but I'm planning. Although I did buy something. It's a heavy-duty arm that just folds up and folds down, and I wanted something in the small of my back, around my hip, that I could lean against in the shower. And just stand there on one leg with all the limitations of that one leg, and still have both hands free, mindfully, carefully, showering with both my hands free. It's something you take for granted, you know? And then when it's gone, it's a thing. It becomes a thing. Yeah. Stand up in the shower without holding on to anything. But I was thinking, I was like, okay, I can buy this, I can buy that, I can fix this, I can fix that, I can move my entire world around. And then I sat there thinking, I'm still a little bit miserable. And miserable is it's a word that's, I think it's lost its meaning. It doesn't mean anything anymore. It's I was just in a state of, when is life going to start again? When is normal going to feel good again? My new normal, of course. And my thoughts are like, what can I do? What can I buy? What do I have to invent in order to make the new normal enjoyable? Be happy? And the answer, it hit me like a ton of bricks, but the answer was nothing. Nothing to buy that would make my new normal enjoyable. So my thoughts immediately went to Sterling, and how much I miss him. And I thought, without him, things are never going to be good again. But he's not coming back. And I miss my boy. My sweet boy so much. And at that moment, I immediately downloaded the BetterHelp app and got started, because feeling like that, a normal, non-disabled person, it can be dangerous. For a disabled person, it can be a death sentence. You have to be ahead of it, and I was exhausted. I was fatigued. Just so damn tired of being 2 steps ahead of sorrow at all times. And at that moment, I was feeling like I wasn't even 2 steps ahead, or I could have been. I could have been 10 steps ahead. I could have been well behind. I just didn't have a feel or a fix on where I was. And it's precarious. You just feel like you're drifting. You're doing everything the way you know is good. But you don't know if that's going to be good forever. And you can't get your mind around why it wouldn't be, to protect yourself from when it's not. And I was like, I had this very tenuous grasp on my where I was in the universe, we'll say. And I just needed help. I need help finding where I am and verbalizing things, getting them out of my head and into someone else's head who's going to bounce them back to me. Talking to myself and talking on a video. It's just not the same. It's got to be a person. And in an ideal world, it's a qualified person to handle that type of thing. And I could unload these things on my friends and my family. And there's a few friends that I do kind of break it down with them. No family. That can't be healthy. Anyway. So I thought, okay, I'll spare my friends. I'll continue to spare my family. And get a third party, an outsider's perspective on things. So just so I know where I am, I could triangulate my position in the world. Have a handhold on staying ahead of the worst of it. Because the worst of it's the death sentence. Can be. And even if it's not a death sentence, it could mean I spend the rest of my life in a depression with no path out of. It's like when you have that tenuous grasp of your position, and then when you do poke your head up, you don't want to find yourself in a deep depression. So, I got help. I'm proud of myself for getting help. And I've been expressing my lack of contentment in the form of anger. I don't have alcohol anymore. I don't have the option to just, you know what, I'm not feeling it, I'm going to the gym. No, it's a half hour getting ready. Whereas before it was just throw on the appropriate clothes and grab your keys. Gone. This is my new normal. This is my life now. And there are moments where I'm happier than I deserve to be. But there are also moments where I'm not so freaking happy. And I don't feel like I deserve to be happy. Because so many people have it so much worse. And I've said that in videos before, but who am I to feel unhappy? But it's all also very much about tolerances. Other people's threshold for being unhappy is higher than mine, some are lower. My threshold is my threshold. And I shouldn't feel bad about being unhappy. Just because I'm unhappy doesn't mean I have to feel guilty about it. And it doesn't mean I dislike anybody in my life. It's just and it's not that I'm disappointed that they are not there to fix this for me. I just want to know where I am so I can take care of myself. So there's that. Started therapy, started examining my anger responses to things, the things that get me frustrated, and begin the anxious reactions to things. And a lot of it is so not real. It's like I get angry about the expectation of complication, more so than actual complication. That's straight up anxiety right there. Which means I need to redouble my efforts to fight anxiety again. It's like I'm getting lazy in this fight. I'm on medication, and the medication works. It gives me a handhold, but I got to do the work. Anyway, so that's therapy. There's also, as far as therapy goes, a couple of house cleaning things, like decluttering, taking the stuff that I've bought that I cannot possibly use because I do not have space for it, and I'm giving a lot of stuff away. I've got things packed up to give away. Other things I just come across it and it's like it's not even worth packing up, and just show it around and be like, you want this? Because I don't. It's like, and if you don't want this, take it anyway and throw it away where I can't see it. Anyway, okay, enough of that news. I have been mulling around the idea of getting a a vinyl cutter, so that I could do some hobby at glass etching at home. And I haven't gotten started yet, but I've got the program. I've got my mind around the program. The thing is, my version of Illustrator is so outdated. Oh man, it's such a frustration. So at work, I've got not the most recent, but a very recent one that has the ability to trace rasterize objects and turn them into vector objects. And now I'm like, I can't do that with this version. This is so old. This is like 20 years old. That's like super ancient. And even my muscle memory, it's frustrating because I'm just like, okay, the scroll wheel on the mouse doesn't zoom. What doesn't it zoom? Anyway, so I'm working on being a little um, ambidextrous about reaching into the past and then going to work and working with Illustrator program that's much more contemporary. Anyway, that's just one frustration, but that's a hobby that is up and running. It's ready to roll, and I am ready to get started with it ASAP. Anyway, so that's exciting. Um, what else? What else? What else? I think that's it for the acquisitions of things. I things are going well at work. I'm not busy. I keep busy, but I'm not, as far as producing things, I'm not as busy as I had been in the past. So I started researching other things like water slides. Hate them. Hydro dipping. Love it. And right now I am looking into pad printing, which is expensive to get started. And once you've gotten started, then I'm sure there's a lot of expense after the fact. But if we could do the pad printing, it would increase our capabilities so much at work, and I am very hopeful. But right now I'm just doing so. I'm kind of embarrassed to even admit it's like 5 jobs a week. That's ridiculous. Anyway, and and the rest of the time I'm spending cleaning, constant improvement projects, remodeling, installing shelves, organizing, and researching. And I'm trying to be worth what they're paying me. But you do what you can. You do what you can. So that's work. Now, what else? Happy Pride, everybody. This is June 2nd, 2024. And am. I, I don't feel. The first year I missed Pride, my first thought was, you know what? I'm down. I'm going to miss Pride, but I thought, okay, I can use my time, my expansive amount of time, um, basically doing what at the time I thought would be a huge thing in my life. And then I dropped it like almost immediately. But I was going to make pride necklaces with my extra time. And I was like, okay, if this is a thing that I do, a thing that I wrap my head around and get good at, then by the time Pride events roll around, then it's like, sell them, go to Pride, be a vendor, uh, be useful, do something. I can't not do something. And how's that going? Not well. I have some supplies. It's like, but it didn't take me long to get distracted from that. Thank you, ADHD. Um, Vinyl records, I still collect them. It's the kind of hobby where you can put it away and then come back to it, and nothing is lost by putting it away and then coming back to it later. So, and it's a fun one because when Christmas rolls around, I get out the Christmas albums, and it it just kind of fills your heart with a little bit of authenticity for the season, you know. Other things like getting LPs for CDs that I had back in the 90s. That's fun. That is so cool. And I love it. Anyway. And then there was the other hobby of wax wax seal stamps, where you melt the wax, you drop the wax on the letter, and then you stamp it down with an image. I still stand by that one. When I around Christmas time or birthdays or whatever, if I've got a card that I'm giving somebody and it's wax sealed, they love it. They just feel so damn special, and I'm just like, that is just a good thing to have around. I'm gonna need a hobby room twice as big as a living room when I'm out of here. Um, what else? What else? What else? The pool is open. I got in the pool twice, both days last weekend. Even though it was no, the previous week was Memorial Day, so it was, yeah, it was just Friday, Saturday, or Saturday to Sunday, sorry, and I was kicking ass. I was bouncing around the pool, making a whirlpool, and intentionally going in all directions on my hip so that I could build up the foundational muscles around my hip joint. And I'll tell you what, it has been so beneficial for walking straight, having the strength to hold your posture type thing. Who knew? I probably knew and forgot. Anyway, I did go back to the gym one time. I tricked myself. Oh, so many things, so many things. I tricked myself because I was writing endorphins, and because I just heard that I got approved for an updated leg. Well, oh man, I didn't even plug her in. That's mine. Anyway, getting an updated leg. Pretty much everything below the knee is going to stay the same. And then, but the shell is getting updated for my thigh. And with that, the caveat of I have not lost any weight. In fact, I weighed in at 240 a year ago, and I gained 30 pounds since then. This is unsustainable. This is just madness. What the hell am I doing? I can't get a hold of this thing. And I'm not doing the Ozempic. A lot of the horror stories are coming out now, and even the success stories are looking a little bit, I don't know about that. So what do I do? You know? I can't self-motivate. I have to trick myself to go to the gym. And I don't know. I know I'll feel good if I do it. I know it'll cure what ails me mentally and physically. I can't bring myself to do it. And I need to. It's madness. Anyway. But yay for the leg. Boo for the bad attendance to the gym. Now, the other good news. When I got in the pool twice last weekend, and I was kicking ass in a very bouncy type of way, I jump started a bunch of new nerve activity in my foot. Right when I just started this video, the front tips of my toes are so sensitive right now. And yesterday and earlier today, my pain level was dodgy, and I thought I had hurt myself. And I was like, okay, this really hurts. Something really hurting me right now. And then as I work through the day, it's like the pain's going away through the course of the day. And then all at once I realize it's been a long time since I had new nerve activity sparked up. I forgot what it felt like. And I my big toe is the final straw on my foot. But it's like bending them down and all that stuff. That is nothing anymore. It's so easy, and they're sensitive. I can feel it, and it's so cool, and I'm so excited. But also, the problem is, as far that's sensation though. As far as motor function goes, my big toe doesn't want to go up, and I've spent a couple days, well, in bed since Sunday last night and a little bit today. Just I remember it was so hard. I couldn't get my ankle to move at all, anything to move. At first, that was like 2.5 years ago now. But yeah, and now I got full range of, well, not 100% range of motion, but a good 90% on my ankle. My toes curving down, 100%. I'm good. Curving up, it's 55 to 60%. It's just, it's hard. It's hard to do. It takes a lot of concentration to get the right nerves to grab, to, force the right muscles to move. And then once they move, they're so atrophied and weak that you have to build them up from scratch. And they're not going to be strong at first. And it's going to be frustrating. It's going to be a lot of concentration and a lot of time. But if it can move, it can strengthen. I stand by that. Or I wobble by that. Yeah. Anyway. So new leg, new nerves. Disability may be ending after this month. Bittersweet. Very bittersweet. And also a little anxiety inducing because I don't know if I'm ready. So every night I have been forcing my ankle into whatever position, basically, what's the word? Cinching my muscles in uncomfortable angles to make sure that whatever I can't do now, I have to be able to do by the end of the month, because starting July 1, if my appeal doesn't go through and the decision on my disability is final, I have to be ready to work. I have to be. And I know a lot of people who have maybe dealt with disability are probably out there screaming. It's like, oh, they make you fight for it. I don't know how much I want to fight for it, because I feel, a part of me feels ready, a part of me is less confident. I'm It's what I told my anxiety when I got out of the hospital. It's like, screw you. There's things to do. And you've been through so much worse, and you're stronger than you know. Just you're stronger than you can imagine. And I haven't exercised that strength in a while. I feel cowardice creeping in because it's comfortable. I don't want to be that again. But I also don't want the rest of my life to be a fight, because I'm fighting through pain. And sometimes you want to take your time, take some time off from the pain. And then you have to remind yourself, no pain, literally no gain. Especially with nerve pain. Why am I rhyming? Anyway. Alright. So that's that. What's coming up? This is fun. Since the pool's open and my dad's working on the deck, and it's in a point of transition right now, but the idea is it will be done by July 20th, and I have scheduled a pool party. I'm inviting my friends out. It's not going to be a swim and movie situation. It's just going to be swimming. But it's going to be solid. I can't not with the themes, right? So it's going to be watermelon themed. I got a bunch of watermelon floaties, beach balls, decorations. It's an excuse to buy something, but it's also buying something with a purpose instead of buying something for the fuck of it, you know? And buying something because of the endorphins and the dopamine rush I get when it arrives and all that stuff. It's like, I don't remember what I ordered. What's in this package now? That's fine and all, but it's just the latest in a long line of crutches. And I got to stop. I don't have space for it. And the more stuff I put around me, the more stress I put myself under. And the more stress I've got, the more anger I have. I need calm living space, calm mind. That's what I want. Getting there is not going to be easy. Trying to get me to give up audio video equipment, I'm telling you right now, that is going to be a deal. That's going to be a problem. Okay. I've got these wonderful speakers and subwoofers and receivers and surround sound. But I have to draw the line somewhere. I have 6 damn projectors and a TV. I gotta get a grip. I've got a new freaking pad. Why? I know why I bought it, but now that it's bought, it's just in the way. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm glad I bought it. Some purchases I can be glad that I bought, and they can still be in the way. And that's the problem. I'm glad I bought some of this shit. It's still in the way. Yeah. many things to work on. What next? What next? What next? There's the one second. There's the issue of my closet. Getting a dresser from my brother's storage. It's heavy and unwieldy. It's going to take me at least an hour to get it up those stairs and into the Jeep so I can bring it home, and then maybe another hour unloading it. And my dad's going to help me. I don't want him helping me. He does so much since he retired. He's active and busy. He's got a honey-do list from here until the end of time. And he's in his 60s. He shouldn't be helping me. But when I do it, if I do it, it's going to be so difficult that no matter what's going on, it's like, okay, this is the thing we gotta do. I can talk myself out of it in 2 seconds. It's going to be a nightmare. Giving myself anxiety thinking about it now, but it's gotta be done. So, anyway, I will leave it at that. Case in point, this whole aesthetic, the pipes, little 90-degree angle thing. Granted, this was free. This was a free gift. I chose it from a long list of possible free gifts. And this was free. And I wanted it. And now I have it. And right now I'm like, why? What the fuck is wrong with me? Anyway. Alright, I'm leaving it at that. Leaving it at that. We've come a long way. 2.5 years. 2.5 years, no alcohol. And now, I'm working. I'm walking. I'm improving. Trying to better myself on the inside and out. Happier than I deserve to be. And still unhappier than I feel like I deserve to be. Because that's life. Okay. I do have another thought. And I guess 40 minutes. Alright. Final thought. I'm really into space and science and all that stuff. It's the one thing that doesn't take up any space in my room, and I just love it, right? Well, I had a little epiphany about existence, and I'm kind of bouncing it off of people. And because I'm not a scientist, it's not an epiphany, it's not a theory or a sermonization, it's a thought experiment at best. So, just think of it as a philosophical thought experiment that has the slimmest chance of possibly being true. And of course it comes in the form of a what if. What if? It started this way. when before we live, we're made of inert matter that doesn't care about time. Time is involved with the bonds that hold the quantum particles of existence together, and they break apart, but no real mechanisms for giving a crap how long that takes. It could be a billion years, it could be 5 minutes, but if you're inert matter forged in the crucible of a dying star, then you really don't care how much time goes by. You're essentially timeless until you become life. You, through information that is encoded in your parents, come together in a new and unusual way. And you become life, right? That made me think also death. When we die, everything starts to break down. Cell walls, the muscles, bones, the nervous system, everything goes back to being inert matter. This is a very brief period of time that we spend actually knowing what time is, observing it, experiencing it, right? And it made me think, the philosophy is that we are astronauts exploring the fourth dimension. Inert matter exists in a timeless state, third dimension only. Then it ventures off into the fourth dimension of time. Basically an observation mission. And then we go back to being inert matter. Timeless, ageless. Everything in this time-based dimension don't matter anymore. We go back to the third. And maybe, no, maybe, it's a scientific fact that inert matter eventually finds its way, some of it, back into being life again. You become the earth. The earth creates the things that every other animal on the planet consumes. The inert matter eventually becomes life. You become the food that the cow eats. The cow incorporates that into its body. The body gets repurposed into a source of sustenance for what I personally believe is a waning carnivorous phase for our species. And then you become part of the human body again, in part, and then some of that part becomes life, new life. So, with all the inert matter in my body, some of it, sooner or later, could experience more time. So, for that reason, I kind of prefer to be buried instead of cremated. I like the idea that Neil deGrasse Tyson brought up, that we have taken so much from the planet, and as we shed our skin and everything that goes into us comes back out, it becomes our cells. The cells themselves just become dust everywhere. We're shedding everything at all times, everywhere. And then when we die, you gotta break down every molecule in your body and have it disappear and stick it in an urn for eternity? No, that's not me. I want to contribute, if nothing else, to say thank you to the existence that supported me all these years. And I like that idea. Anyway, so basically, the philosophy is we are all astronauts exploring the fourth dimension for a time. It's very important that we keep our motives justifiably within a benevolent priority. What was that quote from Lincoln? Our ego is always trying to get the better angels to dovetail. Or our better angels are trying to get our ego to dovetail. I don't know. I'd have to see it again. Anyway. Live good, y'all. I'll see you next time.